Hi, everybody. I'm Kyle Durrett, and welcome to a new series here on Dynamic Character Productions, where I'll be recapping each season of DCP. Today, I'll be recapping Season 1, Yasawa Islands, filmed in January of 2021. The season began with the players selecting their tribes based on a schoolyard pick. But in reality, this was just a way to expose relationships and reveal where people stood before the host divided them into pre-selected tribes, Yoloka and Toa. Yoloka consisted of Ryan, Phil, Keaton, Annie, Carlo, and David. Toa consisted of Karen, Nick, Austin, Jeremy, Corey, and Dan. At the Immunity Challenge, the players competed in a relay race of flip cup. Keaton struggled heavily during his leg of the relay, sending the Yoloka tribe to the first tribal council. In confessional, David and Annie revealed to the audience that they knew each other before the game, and that they planned to work together.
So I am lucky that I have a secret connection in the game that nobody knows about yet, and that is Dave.
During the scramble round, Keaton was targeted due to his poor challenge performance. It certainly didn't help matters when he revealed that he knew people on the other tribe, and he was voted out unanimously.
I wish I drank more alcohol, because then I'd be good at Flip Cup, but I'm not, because I don't want to get drunk like everyone here. Also, Austin's my brother, don't let that fool you, he's my brother as well. And Phil's gonna win this.
At the next Immunity Challenge, the tribes competed in another relay, this time performing different tasks during each leg. Yoloka bounced back from their loss,
A reward with all the fixins.
Yoloka wins immunity.
sending Toa to their first tribal council. Many different alliances started to form, and everybody seemed to be on board to vote out Dan. At tribal council, Dan felt like he was getting votes from Austin and Nick.
I think, I'm pretty sure I'm getting the votes from them. If we're just going to throw it all out there, it's no offense to him. I like him as a person. I love his energy. He's great. But I think Nick is super personable.
He even called out Nick's strategy of talking to everyone, catching Nick off guard and forcing him to try and backtrack. This last-ditch effort was not enough, though, and Dan was voted out unanimously.
An uphill battle coming into it was a lot of people knew everyone, and I probably didn't play as aggressive as I should out of the gate, and probably blowing up a tribal, not the greatest thing, but I wasn't gonna, stay in this game and not say anything the whole game. So, maybe at least they can use that. But it's been fun. It's been real. Enjoyed it.
Episode 3 begins with the players being told to drop their buffs. That's right, it's merge time, and the Ganasala tribe was formed. Players had the option of competing for immunity or sitting out and receiving an idol clue instead. Ultimately, David was the only person to choose the idol clue, and after being informed that he had to share the clue with someone on the other tribe, he selected Nick.
Wow, okay.
For this challenge, players must stand with arms wide open, holding water bottles in the palms of their hands. Nick tried to hack the challenge by dropping one of the water bottles, despite clearly being told that that was against the rules.
I remember saying if a water bottle falls, you're out.
Lauren, this is one water bottle falling, correct? Not both?
Yeah, it's
One water bottle falls, you're out.
Okay.
And it
Seems
is
like a stupid question, but I figured I'd ask it.
I mean, I believe you. I'm sure you're right. I misunderstood it. I'm not pissed at you. I'm pissed at myself.
Jeremy outlasted everyone else and took down the first individual immunity of the season. During the scramble round, Austin was targeted by former Yoloka, while Ryan was targeted by former Toa. At Tribal Council, Ryan called out Toa for being a fractured tribe, causing him and Corey to go at it.
No, what you said to me was, let me throw out a guess. Let me try.
That
for
was
the
our
home
second
run here.
conversation. That was our second conversation. The first conversation is where you said you didn't like half your tribe. So then I named a couple people maybe you don't like.
No, what I said was I don't have a set name on who I want to vote out.
You did say that, but I'm saying you don't like half your tribe. Did you say that or not?
No, I did not.
Everyone stuck to original tribe lines, and the vote came out 5-5 between Ryan and Austin. On the revote, fearing a rock draw, Karen and Phil both flipped their votes, resulting in yet another tie. Everyone except Austin and Ryan were put on a wheel, and Nick got the unlucky spin.
I don't know, for some reason, when we were being read, when McKenna was reading the votes the second time, I just like had a feel, like a gut. You know when you get those moments where you're like, I'm going home? I don't know. It hit me. Listen, I think I painted too big of a target on myself
At the next immunity challenge, the players competed in the classic coconut chop challenge. Having relationships on both sides, Phil managed to survive the longest and won his first individual immunity. After the last tribal council, Corey quickly earned the ire of the former Yoloka members, while Toa still saw Ryan as the most formidable threat. However, pre-game relationships started to make themselves apparent, as Phil decided to flip over to the Toa Alliance. Ryan was voted out 5-4 in the first ever true DCP blindside.
Yeah, Karen's interesting. I like. She made it a goal to get me out. I like that. It's a smart move.
At the next challenge, players paired up to compete in a memory matching game. Corey and Phil nearly lucked their way into a win.
Yeah, oh my gosh!
However, the strategy of Austin and David won them the challenge. David revealed in confessional that he found the hidden immunity item. With only 2 Yoloka Alliance members vulnerable, Annie was seen as a bigger threat than Carlo, and she was voted out 5-3.
There weren't a lot of side conversations or talking or people telling me about, who was on what side. So I'll be interested to see how the rest of the game plays out.
At the next challenge, the players competed in pull and fall, in which they must pull cards to get a stack of solo cups to collapse onto itself. Phil pulled it out and won his second individual immunity.
Done.
Fearing an idol, Corey initiated a 3-2 vote split between David and Carlo, with David receiving the majority of the votes. David knew he was in trouble, and at tribal council he played his idol, negating 3 votes against him, causing a revote between Carlo and Corey. The majority alliance stuck together, and Carlo was voted out.
Phil made the first move, and props to him. I have no regrets, and it was a blast to play. My first experience, hopefully not the last, if you guys will have me again. And I had nothing but a good time.
Episode 7 begins with a mental challenge in which players must remember the order of symbols being shown to them. In the end, Phil won, securing his 3rd individual immunity. Knowing he would be safe, Phil teamed up with David and Corey to target Austin. Karen realized she could not win working with Corey and Phil, and created a 3-person alliance with Austin and Jeremy. At Tribal Council, a deadlocked vote occurred between the 2 sides. The wheel was spun once again, and Corey was rocked out.
Oh my gosh.
Corey, you are the next member of our jury.
So if Phil did that on purpose, knowing he had immunity, knowing that could open up the opportunity for him to make a move on the next round with the 2 people that just got voted against, that is... So if I wouldn't have gone home, then I would have used the fact that I would have tried to find out who voted wrong, and then tried to get everybody to come back together and just vote.
Episode 8 begins with David absolutely flabbergasted as to how he survived the last vote.
I don't even have, 2 allies. I just don't, the fact that people would go to rocks to save me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because I do think I'm a threat to win.
His miraculous run continued as he pulled out a clutch win at the next immunity challenge. Karen reveals that she has the idol, and that she plans to stick with Austin and Jeremy to target Phil. David joined them, and Phil is unanimously voted out.
I can say that I did my best. Final 5 is pretty good. I just couldn't shake the target of winning immunities put on my back. And the one person that I could probably push a target on, Corey, got rocked out one before. So I probably should have just went along and voted out David in tribal before, but I took a chance. And hey, maybe next time.
For the Final Four challenge, players had to stack solo cups at regular intervals without dropping. Jeremy held on the longest and won his second individual immunity. With no more protection, David needed to hustle to keep himself safe. He targeted Karen and pitched an all-guys alliance to Austin and Jeremy. However, David was seen as too big of a threat, and the 3 remaining TOA members stuck together to vote him out.
Must-win immunity challenge, and, I knew the only thing once I lost is to rely on other people keeping their words of like, you told me we could do a final 3. So once you get down to the only thing you can rely on is people's words, that's not a good position to be in Survivor. So I had no more tricks to pull. And honestly, if I were them, I would have gotten rid of me too.
With Yoloka finally decimated, the final 3 players thought they had reached the end. But instead, they competed in their last immunity challenge, the classic DCP wall suit. After a hard-fought battle, Karen won her first immunity challenge and was forced to pick between her 2 closest allies. In the end, she decided to vote out Austin, and he became the 7th and final member of the jury.
Well, here we are. How many hours later? Really, really surprised in my first attempt at one of these that I got to the final 3. Am I, mad, regretful, angry at the decision? Of course not. This is by far one of the most fun times I've had.
With the final 2 set, Karen and Jeremy faced the jury. Karen took credit for flipping the game against Corey.
Yeah, but I saw that there was like a lot of conflict between certain people, like Corey and Ryan, and because like anything I could do to get eyes off of me and have you guys eat each other, like go for it. Like that's what I wanted.
While Jeremy talked up his social game, mentioning how he did not get a single vote the entire season.
I couldn't stay quiet. And so I had to make a lot of quick and concise decisions at correct times. To make sure that the people who I wanted to go home went home. And I think my game evolved from beginning to end.
Furthermore, both of them gave arguments about how they improved from past games. These arguments landed with the jury, as the vote was a very close 4-3. In the end, though, Karen's pitch was more effective, and she was crowned the first winner of DCP.
The winner of the first mini, Karen.
Congratulations, Karen.
Now that Yasawa is done, next up is Season 2, Lalumanu Beach. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates, and be sure to subscribe here so you don't miss DCP All-Stars, coming soon.